Hello Chattanooga, here's a quick look at today's top stories. First of all, 4 Northwest Georgia libraries are facing what's being called a countdown to shutdown. Higher costs plus funding cuts will likely force Cherokee Regional Library officials to shut down one of their branches in 6 months to keep the others afloat. The system has branches in Rossville, Chickamauga, LaFayette, and Trenton. We're told the Rossville Library and the Dade County Library are in the most dire straits, and Rossville has 2 strikes against it. First, it's one of 3 libraries in Walker County. Also, it's an older building. That's in contrast to Dade County's branch, which was recently renovated. And if it was closed, Dade would become the only county in the state without a public library. Commissioners say they won't let that happen, even if the Cherokee Regional Library System does decide to pull out. And while that decision won't come until January, hours at 3 branches will be cut starting next month. And the libraries are already dipping into reserves to stay open. The only hope now is for local cities to boost funding. Jim Tracy has raised 7 times the amount of money that U.S. Representative Scott Desjarlais raised during the second quarter, and he raised almost 3 times as much as State Representative Joe Carr. Tracy raised more than $300,000 for a campaign in the 4th District. Desjarlais just under $40,000. Desjarlais won re-election last year despite documents showing he slept with patients and pressured both his ex-wife and his lover to get an abortion. Still, despite his lackluster funding performance, Desjarlais says he's staying in the race. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has given a local barge 90 days to shape up before it decides whether to revoke the permit. But that's not fast enough for the heads of 3 Chattanooga business groups. Ron Haar, who heads the Chamber of Commerce, wrote a letter encouraging the Army Corps to, quote, expedite the work and consider moving the barge to some less conspicuous and less dangerous location immediately. In a separate letter, Bob Doak, who heads the Convention and Visitors Bureau, asked officials to revoke Casey's permit and to, quote, force him to remove this vessel as soon as possible. The chief of River City Company, Kim White, is also asking for its removal. The barge, which is owned by local businessman Alan Casey, also drew complaints from elected leaders, including Mayor Andy Burke and Senator Bob Corker. Tennessee is reportedly the first state in the country to do major outsourcing of state office building management and maintenance. The state plans to unload 6 obsolete buildings, including 2 in Chattanooga, which have become too expensive to repair and maintain. An assessment showed numerous code violations in the buildings. In one, a urinal was installed right next to an electric switching station. The state says using leased facilities will save the state $100 million over 10 years. If you've ever wanted to sit down over lunch and talk with the mayor, Andy Burke is now offering that opportunity. On Tuesday, the city's mayor held Burgers with Burke at Armando's restaurant in Brainerd. Locals packed the restaurant to talk with the mayor about everything from neighborhood crime to ways the city can support the poor and elderly. Burke hopes the lunchtime meeting will become a monthly ritual at a restaurant in each of the city's 9 districts. One of Chattanooga's least known attractions is now being advertised on Interstate 24. Before the new signs, Executive Director Cheryl Mish says people didn't even know the International Towing and Recovery Museum existed. Since the signs went up 2 weeks ago, the number of visitors has already doubled. In traffic news, Wilcox Tunnel will be closed between 8:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. today and tomorrow for testing. The city says detours will be posted. And finally, hundreds of model train enthusiasts are at the Chattanooga Choo Choo this week for the 43rd annual Lionel Collectors Convention. Take a look.
It's encouraging to see children, little boys or little girls that still like the fun of seeing trains in action.
We try to make the layouts a lot more interesting than simple loops. Sometimes that's all we can do, but when we do have that limitation, it doesn't matter. The kids love the trains. They love seeing the trains go around. They love the sounds, especially with the new technology, all the computer capabilities of them. It's great to see them enjoying it as much as they do.
We're here all week long. We're experiencing different parts of the city. We have a lot of fun activities. I want to invite all the people from Chattanooga to come down to the train show. On Saturday, it's open to the public. The admission is free. It's from 9 to 3 in track 29 at the Chattanooga Choo-Choo Hotel.
And turning to weather, today will be sunny with a high near 92 degrees. The low tonight will be around 72. I'm Harrison Keeley. For more on these stories and updates throughout the day, follow us on Facebook and visit timesfreepress.com.